It's Tuesday and it's time for Falcon Focus. Welcome to this week's edition of Falcon Focus on CUWFalcons.com. It's our second episode of season number 3 and Back Outdoors as we talk in segment number 2 about women's volleyball. We'll be joined by their head coach, Janelle Katz. The volleyball team will be back in action at home for the first time in nearly 3 weeks. They will host the Alverno College Inferno. But first, let's talk women's soccer as we are joined by a couple of the top offensive threats on the Falcon soccer roster, that being Selena Eston along with Caroline Hoagland, as the women's soccer team will be home for a couple of matchups here this week. They get ready to host Wisconsin Lutheran coming up on Wednesday at 4 p.m., and then Illinois Tech will be in town for a matchup on Saturday at 1. My name is Matt Mendel. Thanks for joining us, and thank you two for joining me here this morning and talking women's soccer. I'll start with you, Caroline. You're from Norway.
I'm from Norway.
Long ways away. How did you end up here at Concordia?
So my boyfriend moved here like 1.5 years before me, and I can visit him, and I love this place, so that's why I came here.
Did you even know where Mequon, Wisconsin was on the map prior?
No, never.
No clue whatsoever.
No clue.
And so I guess what part of this campus or what part of this area did you fall in love with? What made this, you said you fell in love with it, what
Yeah.
made this your destination?
I think it was just all the people who were here, and of course the bluff. I love the
Yep.
bluff, being outdoors. So
Selena, you're just down the road. You went to Seabrook High School. Why did you elect to stay close to home?
I did want to stay close to home. It's only about 15 minutes away from where I grew up, so it gives like my family a chance to come see me play still, which I definitely like.
We'll talk about your family in a minute because I think I read in your bio that you have quite a few siblings.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that in a moment. But Caroline, upon coming to Concordia, was it an easy adjustment for you? Did it take some time getting used to, just life here on this campus?
oh, of course, and especially like my English. When I first came in here, like I was not that confident speaking English, but I'm there now.
And look
So,
at you now. You're on
yeah.
Falcon Focus. You're
Oh,
talking
yeah.
on camera. I mean, this
That's
is a big hurdle. What did you have to do in learning English? What steps did you take? How did you go about, just understanding the language better?
I just need to like get out of my comfort zone. I think just like speak out, speak with people.
So did you take any classes or any training, or was it just from everyday conversations?
Just from like everyday
No
conversations.
kidding.
Yeah, but we have like classes back home. Like,
Sure.
But here it was just like mainly talk with people.
And now you feel pretty confident?
Now I'm confident.
There you go.
Yeah.
When you started playing soccer, what age were you, and what led you to playing that sport?
I think I was like 5 years old. I started to play out with my older brother and his team. My dad was a coach there, so he started there.
Did you play any other sports, or was it always soccer?
No, it was only soccer.
Was it like night and day,
Oh,
all
yeah,
day soccer?
All day soccer.
No kidding. And so that, Selena, you as mentioned, based on the bio, we talk about you're the middle child of 8.
Yep.
What was it like growing up in the Selena Eston household?
Always crazy. I definitely had a lot going on every day. I've got 4 brothers above me and like 3 underneath me. But I mean, every day was something going on.
So it's all brothers.
I've got 5 brothers.
5 brothers.
And then 2 sisters.
No kidding.
So it's a crazy household, but there's always something going on, which is nice.
Did they all play sports too?
Every single one of my siblings has played soccer, and then I think only one has switched to a different sport, but everyone has still played pretty much throughout their entire life.
How about for you? Did you start playing soccer at a very young age too?
Yeah, probably around the same time that Caroline did.
And did you play any other sports, or was it always soccer?
Always soccer.
Was it based on the fact your siblings played it, or what led you to that sport?
So my dad coached when I was younger, and then all of my older brothers played the sport, so I just kind of jumped right in with them, and then I've just been playing ever since.
Caroline, you've played a lot of soccer games, hundreds of soccer games throughout your career. Are there certain games, at various levels that maybe stand out and say, that was a memorable game? That's one that I'm always going to remember. Or I played very well this game.
No, I have played a lot of games in my life, but playing on a national team was probably the most games who stuck with me.
Yeah, what is that competition like, and what can you compare it to? Can you compare it to anything, any other experiences?
I don't think I can compare it to anything. It's just like something else. You need to experience it.
Selena, what are some of your soccer memories?
Probably like the bigger games. So my club team won state cup 3 years in a row, back like when I was in like U13 to U16. Other than that, probably our conference championship against Dominican here at CUW. That was definitely memorable.
That was fun. Caroline, speaking of your time here at Concordia, number of accolades have come your direction, which you've been a first-team All-Region back in 2019, NAC Offensive Player of the Year, NAC Freshman of the Year, first-team All-Conference. This past spring during that very unique COVID season, All-NAC North Division. When you hear all these accolades, all these awards that have come your direction, what does that mean to you?
Like, of course it means like a lot, but when I first come in here, I was just like, I'm just gonna play soccer. I didn't hear about any of this like awards or anything like that. I was just playing, having fun.
Well, Selena, same thing for you. You look back 2019, a second-team All-Conference honoree. This past spring, the NAC North Division Player of the Year. And again, what do those accolades mean for you?
I mean, it's kind of the same thing. Like, it is an honor, and it definitely pushes me harder. But, I mean, I mainly just focus on the game, so it's a nice thing on the side. But I'm really just doing what I love.
Do you guys have nicknames, too, by the way? Because I keep going, Caroline, Selena, Do we have nicknames I can go with? Anything you guys call each other?
Not really.
No, not at all? Okay, well, we'll just keep going back and forth now. So, Caroline, how much fun is it when you look at this soccer team? And you guys have a lot of experience, a lot of familiar faces. You've played together now 2-3 years. How much fun is it to play alongside Selena, Isabel Downs, Allison McAwee, among others? But, I mean, those are the top offensive threats.
Oh, yeah.
Those have been the top scorers the last 2-3 years. How much fun is it to play with them?
I love to play with them. Like, I think that's most of like the funniest teammates I've ever had. Like, we just understand each other. Like, we can just look at each other and we know what to do.
Yeah, I was going to say, Selena, how much fun is it? You know, Caroline, certainly and rightfully so, based on that freshman year, draws a lot of attention. You draw a lot of attention. Isabel draws a lot of attention. But they can't defend all of you. So someone's going to be open or find ways to get open. How much fun is it to play alongside that kind of talent?
It's awesome. I mean, having like an offensive line that everyone knows exactly what they're doing, we're all so comfortable playing with each other that we just kind of know what to do in a game. And like especially stressful games, like we're not really that concerned because we know we always have each other's backs.
Caroline, so far 42 goals in 35 games played going into the matchup against Wisconsin Lutheran coming up on Wednesday. Do you put pressure on yourself, or maybe how do you approach each match? What's your mindset knowing, like Selena, you're one of the focal points of the opposing team's defense?
Like, I'm just trying to go into like every game like with the same mindset. Like, I'm gonna try to do my best. I'm not thinking about like scoring goals or anything. I just want to be there for like my team and my teammates.
You and I talked about this off camera. I can say it. I'm not going to get her in trouble. This is my opinion. It does not reflect on these two, but I think you get hosed quite a bit, more so as of the springtime now this year, where the officials are watching you very closely. And the yellow cards have come out. A red card came out in the springtime. With that being said, and again, I'm not asking you, your opinion, whether you agree or disagree, but does that change your mindset? Does it change how you play, knowing that, you're being watched closely? And the yellow cards have come out, which all of a sudden, if you want to stay in the game, you got to tone it down a little bit. So does that change your mindset sometimes?
Yeah, of course. Like, I am an aggressive player. I've always been like aggressive. So when they're like giving me a yellow card 10 minutes in the game, of course I will. I will have that in my mind.
Remember that one well against Pacific Lutheran. But when you talk about that, okay, so you get the yellow card. How do you keep your composure? How do you stay cool considering you then get tackled, taken down quite a bit? You're on the ground a lot, and it's a play on, and they tell you to get up. How do you keep cool and not lose your mind? I
just need to count to 10 in my head, to be honest. Like
that's a great.
Yeah, we need to respect the refs, but sometimes it's hard. It is.
And those are words we can all live by. Let's count to 10. Just take a deep breath, and all will be well. But no, it is, as a fan, as a Falcon supporter, it's certainly frustrating, but she draws a lot of attention and heck of an athlete and finds ways to stay cool. Now, Selena, you don't know this yet, or maybe you do. You're about to be named this week's NAC Offensive Player of the Week, and rightfully so. A heck of a week against Benedictine, and before that against Aurora. But you've played 33 games now as a Falcon. You've scored 44 career goals. 8 of those have come so far this season. How have you been able to find so much success? What's been your key so far as a collegiate athlete?
Definitely having the support of my teammates. I mean, anytime I step on the field, I know that I've got one of the best offensive lines in this conference, so I really don't have to worry about finding the opportunities to score because they just kind of come to me. But I always have my teammates on my back. And, I mean, it's nice scoring. Like, I find easy opportunities, but, I mean, I mainly rely on my teammates.
I'm chuckling as I'm listening to you. I don't know if we got a cameo or not, but the sweater vest, Jeremy Crawford, came running into the street because apparently I lost my Pepsi. So that's Jeremy, thank you. I can't get through this show without the caffeine. So it's the stuff we do out here. But you mentioned your teammates. Okay, your 3 goals Saturday, Benedictine. One of them was a PK. Take us through that journey. Describe those 3 goals and how you're able to get the hat trick.
So the first one came off of, we had a corner kick on the field. Jordan Lafferty, she's one of our center mids.
Yep.
She went up for it. And I think one of the things we've worked on this year is like catching teams off guard. So the second she went up for the corner kick, the Benedictine team had no idea what we were doing. And she quickly played it to Allison McAwee, who just kind of dribbled it up. And right away, Allison and I just kind of saw each other, made some eye contact. She played me the ball, and I just slipped it right in past the keeper. Second one, we had Sabrina Moore. I believe she's a sophomore this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I know she's super fast on the wide, so I played her a ball, and she found that little slit. And, I mean, one of the things as a forward is you can kind of draw PKs if the defenders are on your back. So I felt her instantly push me. I kind of stumbled a little bit, and I got the PK out of it. So that one was pretty easy.
Yeah.
Last one, Isabel Downs, my other center forward. She went wide for a long ball and then played a kind of a through ball through their defense, and I noticed that their back wasn't really watching me, so I just kind of sped up and then kind of hit it hard and went in.
It's great to have Isabel back, too, in the lineup after
yeah.
missing the first couple of weeks. This Wednesday, Wisconsin Luther's the opponent, and that's a matchup that will take place over at Fitting Field with a 4 o'clock kickoff. And I'll ask you, Selena, because a couple of years ago against Wisconsin Lutheran, a school record 16 shots. She took 16 shots by herself against the Warriors, came through with 4 goals and 1 assist. What, if anything, do you remember about that match? I know I'm testing you because we've had COVID, everything else has gone on in between, but that was back in 2019.
Honestly, I just remember being super excited about it, and I know once I get a goal or 2 in the back of the net, like my momentum definitely goes up. And, I mean, I had the team pushing me, trying to get me a hat trick or even more than that, so I guess that kind of pushed me more.
Can we expect 17 shots this time?
Oh, we can try.
We'll see what happens.
I like the mindset. Caroline, Illinois Tech will be here on Saturday for a kickoff at 1 o'clock. The last time Illinois Tech was here, it snowed. It was the NAC tournament a couple of years ago. That was the semis leading to that championship win against Dominican a few days after. What do you remember about playing in that weather, those conditions? I mean, I can remember Coach Middendorf literally shoveling off the field half hour before game time.
I remember it was really cold. The field was super hard, and we were just like battling through that game.
Is that one of the, I don't want to call it the worst, but one of the more unique weather games you've ever played in?
Oh, yeah. Like, we have, like, snow back home also, but not like this.
Yeah, what is typical, I guess, when you look back at your time at Norway and playing back home, what's a nice day soccer-wise?
It will be, like, in the 70s.
Okay.
Sunny.
Is that what you prefer?
Oh, yeah. I prefer
So, like, this is kind of your weather? Is it a little bit cold and windy?
Yeah, it's a little bit cold.
Okay.
Windy.
How about for you, Selena? Was that one of the worst weather games you've been a part of, or is there another one that comes to mind?
I mean, that's probably one of the worst, other than just playing through, like, really aggressive rain where you can't really see the ball and it's just kind of bouncing around. But that's the one I can remember the most.
Yeah, it was something else, and I know there was all kinds of talk about moving that game somewhere else, whatever the case may be, but heck of a back-and-forth battle, too. The Falcons would win. Let me get both of your thoughts on this, maybe either individually or collectively as a team. How do you feel this season's going so far? You guys are off to a 3-1 start, 2-0 in league play, and you've won those 2 conference games so far by a combined score of 12-0. So I guess we'll start with you, Caroline. Just maybe for you individually, but also the team, how do you feel the season's going so far a couple of weeks in, or at least match-wise, a couple of weeks in?
Yeah, it's been like a good start of the season, I think, for like us as a team and for me as an individual. So I'm excited to for the rest.
And kind of the same thing. I think our coach this year has pushed fitness on us, which, I mean, we're not all that happy about, but it's definitely showed in some of our games compared to some of the opponents who we tire out within 20 minutes or so. But I'm excited.
You speak of fitness. I know you guys are used to playing, soccer, whether it be somewhere else or just for fun during the off season. But has it been a quick turnaround, being that you just played in the springtime? You know, that unique spring season with the COVID season, kind of a quick turnaround now, playing here in the fall. Has it felt different? Has it felt, does it feel like a quick turnaround, or do you guys feel like you had enough time off and proper training camp and preparing for this season?
I mean, I like it. Like,
yeah.
I feel like it gave us more time to stay in shape rather than having so much time off. I know some of us play throughout the summer compared to others, but, like, when you don't get to play, it made it a lot easier for some of the girls who just played in the spring and now are playing now.
Was it a quick turnaround for you?
Yeah, I will say so.
Did you play a lot in the summertime?
Yeah, I play back home.
Okay. We'll kind of do back and forth here for both of you. Favorite thing about soccer?
Teammates, I will say.
Probably teammates.
Teammates. If not soccer, what would be your backup sport?
Handball, I think.
Handball?
Yeah. That's a
Do you
huge
play a
thing.
lot of handball?
No, just like for fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe like track or something.
Track. Is there a sport that you've never tried that you'd like to try?
Wrestling.
Wrestling? Well, you're in luck. There's going to be
I
a
know,
women's
I heard
wrestling team
that.
starting soon. They need athletes.
Oh, yeah.
You thinking about it?
I'm thinking about it.
What?
I don't know, maybe basketball. Like, I've never
Okay.
really played it, but
Never.
not really.
There's a new basketball court out here. You
I
see
know.
that?
It is nice.
You try it at all?
No.
No. Favorite thing about Concordia?
The community.
Probably the teachers.
Okay. I don't know if you guys are superstitious at all or not. Do you have a pregame routine? Is there something you guys do, like maybe each one of you, every match, and you cannot change it up?
I'm drinking a Red Bull.
Really?
Yeah.
That's like my Pepsi.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Jeremy, again for saving that.
I have a weird superstition that I always have to braid my hair differently for games. Like,
Di-
I can't braid it the same 2 games in a row.
But, okay, so let's say you braid it one way tomorrow. Next week you can go back to that same. You just can't do it back-to-back
Just
games?
can't do it back-to-back.
Okay. How do you remember?
Well, I actually have one of my teammates braid my hair, and I just kind of switch it up between a couple of styles.
Do you guys have a favorite type of music you warm up to, or just that gets you, pumped up for a match?
Anything with like a beat
Yeah.
or like something that gets you in the mood to, I don't know, go hard, I guess.
I agree.
Well, I'm going to ask, and I apologize, I don't know. In Norway versus here, is the music very similar? Is it?
It's similar.
Does it eventually get over there? I mean, how does that work? So,
Yeah,
so the songs, you know these songs? I mean,
I know all the songs they're
You
playing
do?
here. Yeah.
do you guys have any say in the pregame music here? Do you get to put that together at all, or is that
I think Natalie made like a playlist now.
Yeah.
okay? But do you ever give like any recommendations?
No, I'm trusting her.
Okay. Favorite food?
Mexican food.
Ooh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite color?
Red.
Red.
I like purple.
Do you have a favorite holiday?
Christmas.
That was quick.
Yeah, Christmas.
What is the best way? By now, you guys are experienced travelers on the bus. But what's the best way? How do you spend that time on the bus? What's the best way to relax? To have those bus rides fly by. Especially this past week, you've been back and forth to Illinois. How do you go about just making sure those hours go quick and it's not? Are we there yet?
I'm just listening to music and trying to sleep.
Yep. Sleeping usually.
By the way, how long is the flight back home?
Like, I need to stop by in Denmark. So from Denmark to Chicago, it's like 8 hours, 8.5.
Gee, are you able to sleep?
Yeah, I'm sleeping on the plane.
What's your secret?
I
just-
have no secret.
just-
I can sleep everywhere.
See ya.
Yeah.
We'll wrap it up. What goals do you have for yourself, for this team, with what's left here in this season?
I mean, it'd be nice to win conference or the tournament again. I think for myself, it's just kind of pushing myself more than last season. So, I mean, if the goals come and I beat my record, which is always like a little goal of mine, that's always nice, but I don't push it.
I'm going off with the same as Selena. Like, winning conference and going into the tournament will be amazing. And for me, it's just like being the best version of myself as a soccer player. Like, try to grow.
Caroline, Selena, thanks a lot for your time here this morning. Really do appreciate it. Best of luck this week. You can see both of them in action when Wisconsin Lutheran's in town for a 4 o'clock start Wednesday, Illinois Tech Saturday at 1 p.m. When we come back, we'll turn our attention to women's volleyball and talk with their head coach, Janelle Katz, as they get ready for the Alverno College Inferno. Stay tuned or tune in to Falcon Focus on CUWFalcons.com.
Since 1978, Lutheran Church Extension Fund has had the humble privilege of supporting the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod in fulfilling its mission of sharing the gospel.
Thanks to our faithful investors, we provided thousands of church workers, congregations, schools, and organizations with the resources they need to reach more people with the saving name of Christ. It's what we do.
Because our greatest joy comes from seeing LCMS Ministries and her workers thrive, we will continue to make precious resources available, both today and far into the future. It's our promise to you.
We are Lutheran Church Extension Fund.
We are Lutheran Church Extension Fund.
We are Lutheran Church Extension Fund. We want to be part of your great and exciting work.
Welcome back to this week's edition of Falcon Focus. We get ready for women's volleyball as we tape this on this Tuesday. They play tonight, first time at home in nearly 3 weeks. Alverno in town. They will serve up set one of the best of 5 at 7 p.m. and being joined by Janelle Katz, who is back for her 9th season at the helm for the Falcon women's volleyball program. She's kind of joined us in preparation for tonight's matchup, which I saw on the schedule. The theme is Free Cookie Night. Please tell us what that entails.
Well, we're bringing free cookies, but it's also actually the student government is bringing in Chick-fil-A.
Whoa.
Yeah, so it's going to be a double dip. Free Chick-fil-A, and we're also bringing some free cookies, chocolate chip, the good stuff, just getting fans and having a good atmosphere for the match tonight.
Well, I'm sold. I mean, you got your dinner, you got your dessert, and you get volleyball. I mean, that's a heck of a trio inside the John Book Field. Chick-fil-A and cookies, you heard it first, 7 o'clock. But let's talk about the season. 4 victories, 3 defeats right now, and this is a team that's played some great competition. You guys have played 4 top 25 teams, having gone 2-2 in those matchups. I guess as you sit here, you certainly have been, battle-tested. What do you feel might, at this moment, be the strengths of this team? Maybe what concerns do you still have going into this next week of play?
Yeah, I think, we have 7 seniors, so working to keep them healthy. We got a lot of kind of lingering injuries, and so really working to kind of find a balance where they can still get practice in but still be fresh for matches. I think that's kind of where we're at right now. But yeah, we have a lot of depth on this team. Team chemistry is going really well, and one of our team themes this year is just positivity. So really working on being positive with each other, building each other up on the court. And I feel like we keep getting better at that, and we're excited. We've changed the lineups a lot, and I feel like we're definitely getting into where we're seeing that top lineup come through in these next couple of weeks. So,
how about from a scheduling standpoint? And to your credit, this program does not shy away from good competition. How do you go about, during an off season, building that schedule? What are you looking for in opponents? Because obviously these first few weeks, you guys have been battle tested.
Yeah. We always want to play top competition. That's our goal. Our goal, kind of my recruiting pitch is like, hey, we want to be top in the Midwest, and we want to get into those rankings of the top 25. And in order to do that, you got to play top 25 teams. So that's kind of the goal with scheduling is like, let's get those big teams. Let's get us prepared for conference, and then also just prepared for the whole season and potential at-large bid if we need it for the NCAA.
Take a look at some of the matches from these last couple of weeks. Going back to September the 11th, knocked off number 15 Milliken, 3-2. Number of players stepped up, and Jenna Chaussee coming through with 13 kills, 18 digs, a number of digs in that matchup. A number of other players stepped up. When you look back at that matchup against Milliken, what was the difference? How were you guys able to pull that one out?
I really think just the team stepped up because unfortunately, when we went to Chicago, there were some COVID protocols.
Sure.
We couldn't bring our full squad, so we were missing three players that received significant playing time. And so the team that went really understood that and was like, hey, this is what we got. We got to give it all full effort. And we kind of didn't have a lot of matches coming into that, so we were pretty fresh. So that was also, I think, a plus for us as we came in fresh, hot, and wanting to play matches and wanting to win. So.
What stood out to you the next day then? On September 12th, you knocked off number 9 Transylvania 3-0. And I know looking at the stat sheet, a very balanced attack. I think there were 6 players between 5 and 8 kills. In set 1 alone, you guys hit 519.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, I bet.
I think just everybody was gelling. We were passing well, and when we can pass well, I mean, we run a 6-2. We always have 3 really good attackers, and when we can utilize all of them, I think that's our strength. That's our strong suit. So getting that good pass to be able to utilize all our hitters is what keeps us winning and keeps us playing well, and the other team kind of guessing who are we going to set.
Last week, conference play began with a tough 5-set loss against Edgewood. You know this, being one of the top teams in the league, you're going to get everybody's best, and you cannot take a set off.
Mm-hmm.
Teams will take advantage. In your opinion, when you look at that 5-setter, how was Edgewood able to pull off that surprise result?
I mean, it's crazy. I handed off. I think they played clutch at the end of the sets. Sure. If you look at the statistics, it kind of is strange. We technically won in most statistical categories, but they came out strong at the end, and they wanted to beat us more than anything. So I handed off to them. They had a great match, and I think that was a great lesson for us. It's everyone wants to beat us. I mean, after the match, they were crying. They were so excited that they were able to beat us. And I think that kind of hit our players. We got to work hard. We got to get back in the gym, and we got to make sure that we're playing our best volleyball every time we step out on the court.
It'll be interesting to see, too, because I think that's an Edgewood team that may be able to surprise some people. Certainly, when you look at preseason polls, take it for what it's worth. They're expected to be near the bottom, but I think they're going to be a surprise team as the season progresses. Now, you guys were able to bounce back this past weekend. Lost in 4 sets against a very good Whitewater program, but then able to sweep North Central. Your thoughts on what you saw from your team this past weekend?
Yeah, I mean, I think going off the loss of Edgewood, we were really eager to get back in the gym, play some top competition. Whitewater sets the first 2 were a little rough, and then we kind of came into it. We switched, again, really working on switching the lineup up, really trying to find, okay, what's the best lineup that we can do from here on out. So we had a lot of players playing different positions, and like I said, I feel like we're finally winding it down to see what our top players are, and it was fun. We battled. We won that 3rd set with Whitewater, and then we had to play right away, after that. So just kind of bounced back and took it to North Central and won in 3.
How about preparing for this season? When you look back at training camp, was it business as usual as far as training camp goes? Was it a little bit different, being that you just played meaningful volleyball in the springtime and a kind of a quicker turnaround, a lot of experience back? How did you approach training camp?
Yeah, I mean, it was the first one we had, and felt like
years,
forever.
Yeah. Right?
So just with a veteran team, lots of seniors, lots of upperclassmen, they really took the lead, and it was a great camp week. We did 2-a-days. Everybody looked good. Everyone came in shape. And we were just really able to get right into it, offense, defense, and it was a fun camp week. It was a fun first couple of weeks, and I felt like that really helped us, again, going into the first weekend of playing three ranked teams, to be prepared for that.
How unique was the springtime? Obviously, this program is used, and obviously we've seen it in the first few weeks, used to playing multiple matches in a day, but then being asked to play multiple or doubleheader conference matches on a regular basis in the springtime. Just how unique was that whole experience? Obviously, it's great to play, but very different from the norm.
Yeah, for sure. I think it was a tough season last season. A lot of our players will attest to that, even the seniors this year. I think mentally it was challenging with everybody just it was a spring season. It wasn't our normal season. Yeah, but I think they were able to battle through, and then seniors knowing like, hey, we just went off a playing season and we get to go right back into another playing season without really having that off season in between, which is kind of exciting in a way. You go from playing to playing.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, so I think it was kind of nice to have season to season because I felt like we didn't have that much time off, and they seemed ready to go once camp week started.
How tough was it? You guys won the NAC North Division regular season title, but had to opt out of the tournament for, obviously issues beyond your control. Were you able to address the team after that announcement came about? How did you approach just how the season came to an abrupt ending?
Yeah, that was tough. I mean, what was nice is we did get our senior night in, which was great. That was like a big night for us. We were able to get that in. And then, unfortunately, we had to wait a couple of weeks till everybody was okay to kind of be together again. And then we kind of just addressed. It was a great season. And like you said, just things out of our control where we couldn't get to the NAC tournament. And I mean, it happened to other teams in our conference as well. We did get to go to that AVCA tournament, which was a lot of fun. And it kind of felt like real season again doing that. So I think they appreciated that tournament, but we talked about it. They accepted it. It was what it was. But now they're excited to like get that opportunity again for postseason.
You talked about a little bit just the the emotions, some of the challenges for the athletes, and I've heard it across the board with other sports too. Just everyone's excited to be back playing last year, but by the end of it, everybody was ready to just take a break. Catch your breath with all the testing, everything that's been asked of the athletes. How about from a coaching perspective? Was it challenging for you, being that a little bit different, and it's not just coaching, but I mean you're managing too, as you mentioned, all these emotions and all that's being asked of these athletes.
Right. Yeah. Last year was tough. I think just the unknown of I probably made 10 different schedules. It was like, okay, we're starting in the fall. All right, we're starting in October. Okay, we can play matches. No, we can't play matches. I guess we're starting in the spring. But, then if something happens, we're shut down. And so it was kind of like I felt like our players weren't in a great headspace, and us as coaches, too, weren't necessarily in the best headspace because of all the unknowns. And so this year, with more of a regimented routine, I think everyone seems to be in a better headspace. And we know we get tested once a week, and it's not every other day. It's not all this craziness. We got a lot of players on our team vaccinated, so that makes it a little bit easier. But I definitely feel like this year we're in a better headspace. We understand, like, things might happen. There are unknowns, and I just feel like we're in a better place, I guess.
Let's talk about the roster a little bit. You've talked about the experience, and I know you've said it in one of the other preview videos that you can find at CUWFalcons.com that this may be perhaps, if not the most or deepest team that you've had in your time with the program. But look at that setter position. And just starting off, you bring back Mackenzie Verts. You have Sierra Lee. Also, Erica Christensen. A lot of depth, it seems like, at that position.
Yeah.
A position, by the way, you know very well.
Yeah, it's been awesome. I think we needed depth at that position. Actually, Sierra, one of our players, she's in a really tough major and can't make it to every single match. She wasn't able to go to Chicago more for the COVID protocols. But with her major, she's in radiology. She can't make it, again, to all the matches. So making sure that we have the depth that we need in that position to be successful. And all three are performing great. And we also are developing our freshman setter, Anna Borer, as well, to potentially take over that position for next year.
We look at the attack. The first name I want to bring up is Macy Cartfinger, NAC North Division, freshman of the year in the springtime. And know about her kills, her blocking ability, but all of a sudden I look at the stats sheet today, and she's the leader in service aces. So I mean, she's a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
Contributes a little bit of this and that, doesn't she?
Oh yeah. I mean, if you come to a practice, you watch her. I mean, she's just an animal. She won't let a ball fall without effort. She's always doing something in practice. If she's not on the court, she's shagging balls around the court. And everybody respects her because, when she's in the match, when she's in the practice, in the set, like, she's giving her all, whether it be blocking, hitting, serving, passing. I mean, she's definitely a player that can do it all.
I want to get your thoughts on the rest of the attack. Some of the other names, Sophia Collins, who was the co-NAC North Division Player of the Year. That in the springtime, you have Jenna Shawsa, who talked about her kills and digs, Gabrielle Pavlik, among others. Just where do you feel this attack is right now at this point in the season?
That's a big focus of ours is our offense attack, and I am very excited about where we are right now. I think we're very deep in that, and we're kind of figuring out, okay, what hitters do we want where, because everyone's hitting really well. So kind of figuring out what's our best lineup when we go against these top teams. But yeah, I would say we're strong on the outside, we're strong in the middle, we're strong on the right side, and that reminds me of my 28-3 team where we were strong, in middle, outside, and right side, and I think that we have this year with the attack.
When you look at the block, besides Carfinger, Hannah Hillman is back. You have Gabriella Kabish. Also, I want to bring up a newcomer, freshman who's in the lineup from day one, that being Lauren Schroba. What do you see from her? All of a sudden she's in the starting lineup day one. What jumped out about her that put her in the lineup right away?
Yeah. She's just a really smart and dynamic player. She finds a way to get a kill. She makes great saves on tight balls. She's just overall a smart player, and she sees the block well. And whether we put her on the outside or the right side, she's kind of been playing both. She's having a great hitting percentage, hitting really well, getting the kills that we need with low error, and also just doing really well on the serve and back row, and also being a back row attack option for us. I think we're really excited about her and her development over her next 4 years.
And also from a defensive standpoint, we look at your libero, Madeline Alton. What have you seen from her? Again, numbers are there. They've been there the last couple of years. I mean, you have that experience there too.
Yeah, she's great. She's all over the court. She just has that really positive personality. She doesn't get down if there's an error. She really works with the team to bring them back up. She's just that player that's no matter what type of situation it is, like if we're up, she's playing hard. If we're down, she's still playing hard. She has a great mindset, and she's a great leader of the backcourt. And so we're really excited to have that leader, to have these 7 senior leaders basically, and kind of get the underclassmen, we got a lot of freshmen this year on varsity and reserve. So get them ready to go for next year to take over.
Besides the experience on the court, a couple of newbies on the coaching staff. You've brought on a couple of new assistants with Colin Lebersky, his men's volleyball background, Marion, coached Lakeland, Kevin Bittner with some high school coaching experience. How have they fit in so far?
Very good, very good. Kevin's been awesome. I think, at first it always takes the team a little bit to get to know the coaches, and so I think now we've kind of hit that stride, and both of them are doing a great job, and they're contributing. Unfortunately for Kev, he kind of tore his bicep. So he can't really do much in practice with hitting and serving at everybody, but he's still there. He's still coaching. He's still doing what we need him to do, and definitely getting along with the team. And Cullen has some great energy that he brings. So he's a lot of fun too, and we'll have him jumping in practices and play as well. So both great ads, and I think the team enjoys them. I enjoy them. I think they're doing a great job.
Look at the conference, and again, we mentioned Alverno in town tonight for a 7 o'clock start. And again, get your Chick-fil-A and free cookies. I mean, that sells itself. But competition-wise, obviously Aurora, Dominican, Wisconsin Lutheran. You add St. Norbert to the mix now. Mentioned Edgewood. They could be sneaky good. We'll have to see how this season plays out. But your thoughts on how this conference could play out? It's the competition you guys are seeing, week in, week out.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think our conference has definitely improved over the years. We're looking back at the conference, it was like if you lost a match, it was, we might not win conference. And I think the last few years have showed us there's teams that are stepping up and playing their best ball against other conference teams. For example, Edgewood stepped up versus us and beat us in that. But yeah, I think it's going to be a definitely tougher conference this season. A lot of teams are battling, a lot of great coaches, a lot of great recruits coming in to the conference. And so we're excited. We're excited to play our non-conference, but also come in and continue to play hard and hopefully be playing our best ball in conference.
To wrap it up, when you look at, trying to win that conference championship, you touched on it briefly. Okay, you guys won regular season tournament championships in 2016, 2017, part of a regular season title in 2019, brought home the North Division title this past spring. This team is to continue to find its way at the top of the conference standings. What do you see as being keys? What needs to happen for this to be another championship season?
Yeah, I think we just got to keep working on that positive mindset, not being afraid and just going after it. And also, like you said, every team that's facing us, you know, when you're on the top, they want to beat you. And so that's kind of like our goal. It's like, hey, every team that's coming in to play us is going to be playing 100%. You know, kind of the pressure's on us to win. So keeping that mindset of like that go after attitude, that want to win, but also keeping that balanced attack. As you mentioned, you know, beating Transylvania, we hit 519 with a balanced attack. So really working on that pass, getting that ball up to have that balanced attack. So I think that's what's going to help us be successful is, of course, the serve pass game, serving tough, passing well, and then keeping that balanced attack.
Well, Coach, as always, thanks a lot for your time. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
You're North Division Coach of the Year this past spring, 4-time Conference Coach of the Year, I might add, as well. All the best to the volleyball team going forward. And, again, you can see them with the cookies, the Chick-fil-A, all that good stuff. Plus a matchup against Alverno. 7 o'clock, they serve up set 1 of the best of 5 inside the John Book Fieldhouse. And then a number of home matchups now as the home schedule starts to rev up here at end September into October. That will do it for this week's edition of Falcon Focus. Thanks for joining us, and we'll do so again next week here on CUWFalcons.com.